So in this video we will be creating a simple login page just like the Facebook page for your app or your website, but in today's video we'll be focusing mainly on the websites, and we are doing this using just HTML and CSS. There are no back-end integration to it. If you want to watch the full video where I integrated the back-end, just check this video right here. I would be explaining all the steps that you need to know in order for you to create your web page, your login page, the front end and the back end integration. But for this video, like I said, we'll be focusing mainly on the front end. We'll be focusing mainly on the front end of your page, like the user interface. That's what we'll be focusing on in this particular video. Having said that, let's get into the code. Alright, I trust the author. We are going to create two files. The first one is the HTML file, which has the components of the page, and then the second file we'll be creating is the CSS file, where we'll be putting in all our styling. Like if you check in this video here, you will find out that we discussed the basis of HTML in web design. This is a web design class. So having said that, I created a very simple HTML file. Let me open new file, open a file. So this is a very simple HTML file I opened. Let me just get right to it. Documents, and this is the file. This is a very simple HTML file. It's carrying the should I say is carrying the basic tags of the HTML. You can see the doc type, the HTML tag, the head tag, and this is just the basic building block of a HTML file. So I've already created this. I'm not sure of if it will appear here. Let me just move it into this class folder so that we can easily interact with it anytime we want to. So I move it into the class folder. So basically, okay, let me open this from here. All right, this is the file here, and we just imputed the basic tags of the HTML. I'm going to clean this up. So I've explained the use of all these tags in an earlier video. Just check below in my channel. You are going to see the video where I broke down all the tags, their uses, all the HTML tags. So having said that, we have our HTML file. Let's create a new file called the CSS. So this is it. But with time, I would prefer if we should use a single HTML file. Okay, let's use a single HTML file. So in this video, we'll be creating this HTML login page with a single HTML file. We are using the inline CSS and the script type CSS. So what will be remaining for here is the style tag. So this is it. between this space, this is where we'll be putting all our styles. We are not having a separate CSS file anymore, so we are putting all our styles here. So having said that, let's get to it. We are going to create a div, a container. We're going to create a container div. So this is it. And then right here I will have another div. Another container class. We'll call it, sorry, I will call it container form. So this is just it, and we have this right here. So having said this, these are just the major should I call it building block of our CSS file. Okay, so we have this, and then so we will put in our, so we have the div now. So what I'll be doing is, as I am creating, I am styling at once. Right here, let me just, okay, let's have this, we'll call it h2. Let's create a h2 and call it login sample login page. Sample login. So we have this sample login, and I want to be styling everything at once so that we can be previewing it to better our understanding. So then after this we put in the form. So right here we put in the form. I call it form. So form, like I said, we will not be um, integrating any back end to this. So all we'll be doing is just focusing on the front end, because if we are to integrate back end, we'll have to put something like on submit, something like this right here. But we will not be doing that. We'll just go straight to the input and then have all the rest of it there. Let me maintain my iteration. So input, yeah, input. We'll definitely have to input, inputs. So I have this local up type. Then we have the type is an email. Sorry for that. Email, and then type email. Placeholder. Oh, then so this is it. I'll be explaining this now. We have the form inputs. These are the places where you will make your inputs, and this is your uh, for your email. This entire box is for your email, and we'll be creating the second input, which is for the password, and it's just the same. So I proceed. This is for the password. It is required. So now this explain. Okay, let me add a comment here. All right, so this field here is for the email input, and this part is for the password input. So right now I'm going to save this, and then we will run it in Chrome to see how it goes. So Okay, let me open it in Chrome. So basically, this is it. This is the login code. We are done with typing in the login code. So right now I will be popping it up on Chrome. Let's watch how it is in Chrome. So this is it. This is just it in Chrome, and then I'll be removing all this stuff. So you see, this is just the way it is. Now we are going to style all this. We are going to style all this. Yes, this is just the basic login, and then we will style it. First of all, I would like to bring down this password. I would like to bring it down. So let me head to my VS Code. I'm using Visual Studio Code because it's more convenient for me. I don't know if you have anyone that is convenient for you. Maybe you don't have a nice system. You can use any code editor that suits you, like Notepad. You are using Android, your HTML5. So this is just what I wanted to do. I literally brought this down. So you see, now I'll be explaining all the functions of our code right now. I'll be explaining all the functions of our code, and we'll be interacting with them. So now this is the div class, which is a container. Already now we cannot see that container in our Chrome. Why? Because we have not styled it. In the previous class I was explaining. Now we have not styled, but all these elements here, all of them are inside a container, which when we begin to style them, their beauty will begin to be seen. So we head back to Visual Studio Code. To see the next one. Now we have the first container. We have the second container, which I called container form, but actually we will do it container logo. Because basically, let me say you are styling, it is a Facebook login page you are styling. It is the Facebook logo that will be here, but we are using this sample login as logo. So this is for the logo for now. The next thing is the form. The form is just basically everything that you see. The form is basically everything you see here, from this email to this password. This is the form, but we are not done with the form yet. We need the submit button and some other elements to make the code very beautiful. But for now, we'll be hanging on this. For now. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code, and this is what we have. Now if I should remove this value here, you'll find out that at default what will be seen in our forms are just let me reload. Now you see, this is just the placeholder, but the value tag, what that value does there is it adds a pre-imputed text, like we've seen already. It has a pre-imputed text there, maybe any text of the programmer's choice. So having said that, let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and look at the next thing to do. So now here we are, and I would love to begin the styling. Immediately. So for here we have I call this, now we'll be styling the container we'll be styling the container, and then this is it. I want our container to be mm, let's leave it white. Let's leave it white. Background color white. Background color, leave it white. Well, this is better. Then so align item, align items. We should do this center. Should do this center. Padding. Have a padding of 10 pixels. Let's do 10%, and then that should be it. So head back to our Chrome to see what it's got. We'll be refreshing right now, and we have this as it is. Have this as it is. So we padded 10%. We padded 10%. This is 10% of our padding. So right here we'll be having this. Okay, go back to your Visual Studio Code. We'll just be running through this, and then later I explain them one by one. Back to our Visual Studio Code. Okay, over here we've actually added our padding and all that. I think 10% is kind of okay. Let's leave it 10%. Then the next style we'll be adding here is the container form, the container logo. I mean container logo. Container logo. That's the next thing we'll be styling here. So container logo, and we'll be aligning the items. Align item center, and then align self at left. Align self left. Align self, I will say left. So I think this is okay. Align self left. So what do we have here? Then the next one is we'll be styling the logo itself, container logo h2. This is h2, so that is it. h2 will color we use blue because we are trying to do something like maybe a bit equivalent to Facebook, and then color blue. Okay, I think that is all for now. So the next thing we'll be styling here is, let me add div to this form. Div, then the class, I give it a class name, container form. Container form, I think this would be okay. Container form, I just cut this and put it right here. Container form. So I think this is correct. So we have this container. Alright, class container form. I think this is it. So I'm separating this form inside another container, and I would be adding the h h3, we're adding h3, which um I'll be calling this h3, what do I call it? Okay, let's just say login. Call it login. So that should be it. And then for the styling of, okay, right here, let's just add a paragraph to make everything nice. Say, just write type a simple thing: log in to get started and connect with family and friends. So I just did a basic paragraph here, and this is login. So this should be it for now. This should be it for now. Okay, this is not it. I'm going to remove this from here. I'm going to remove this from here and rather put it right here. So this is where it's supposed to be. It's where it's supposed to be. So the next thing is, we've successfully styled the container, that is the entire container, and we've styled the logo container, and brought it to the left. Let us switch to Chrome and see what it has brought to us. So I'm gonna refresh. Okay, this is it. This is rather it. It is aligned left already. It is aligned to the left already. And then the next thing is to take this and make it align to the right. So this is what we're going to be doing to bring this logo from this point, okay, from this login, from this point, to bring it to this part of the screen, this is what we are going to be doing. Heading back to the Visual Studio Code, we do this. Now we take the container form. We are styling the container form right now. So container form. Okay, before I continue, I would pause a bit and explain some things. Now you see, we are putting our CSS tags, and each of them is having these dots. Why are we putting these dots? Let's say we are styling the body now. Just the body. I say body. You find out that I will not be putting the dots here. So for components, my god, for components that are inside the body, when you want to style them, you make use of the dots. That is CSS syntax. That's the syntax for CSS when you're writing your CSS code. Now we proceed. Having said that, we'll be styling this container form to bring it to the right. So we'll be doing this right. Let's say 10%, 10%, 10% will be enough. Padding 10 pixels, 10 pixels. Width, let's give it a width of 70 pixels. Width 70% instead of using the pixels. Then let's maintain the height of 70% also, or let's rather do 80. Height 80%. So this is it, and I think this will do. Let's pop it up in Chrome, then I refresh. I refresh one more time. Okay, it's not coming up. Let's trace the error. Let's trace the error, where the error is coming from. Let's trace the error because it's not coming up. Container form, this is it. Alright, come back here. Let's make this right 0. Right, 0, 0, and see what it will give us. And then I need to justify align self, right, justify flex. Let's add the justify flex. We are rather having some justify itself. Okay, justify items flex. So let's just watch it one more time and see where the error is coming from. Okay. It's still persisting. How do I get this? Okay. Bits. Okay, we're just going to try. I think this container logo is, let's give this a width. Let's make it 300 pixels. Let's just add it a border. Okay, 300 pixels, and then see what we got here. Back to Chrome. 300 pixels. 300 pixels. Come to the left. Come to the right. So container, these align items. Okay, I think we have to remove this align item center, and then let's see what is going on, because this is align items, this height, this. Let's finish up border. Let's add the border radius so that we can be able to see what is going on. 5 pixels, and then border width. Select the border width 2 pixels. Then border color we choose let's choose shadow instead of color. Border, let's choose border color. Hmm, let's make it black. So having done this, let's watch the code, what is going to look like, and then come to Chrome, refresh. Okay, it's not still reflecting. It's not still reflecting. Why is it not reflecting? Why is it not reflecting? Save. Why is it not reflecting? Still on that. Let's just remove this thing, then proceed. Okay, okay, I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. back to the code, we are able to finish up some of the styling. Maybe we can just be making some touches. Let's go back to Chrome. Let's see what we have been able to do. Let's go to Chrome. See what we have been able to do. So this is it. This is basically it. And then we have this, but we have some problem. You can see that the div was not able to fully contain it. So we'll be making those corrections now. Immediately we are styling the body. We'll be styling the body to have this background color. Instead of that, we are going to move this background color from here, then we'll put it to the body, into the body, and then head back to Chrome. Alright, we will be what we did was this. So to make that correction, we'll be styling the body right now. We'll be styling the body, and then move this background color, move it down to the body. So this is it. Let's head back to Chrome and see what we've done there. Go back to Chrome. Alright, you can see it's full, and we have this at the right hand side and this at the left hand side. So what we'll be doing now is to face this very well. We are facing this login box so that we'll have everything in order. Now we will proceed to the code, to the Visual Studio Code, to get things done. I'm going to pause the video one more time so that we can head back to, so I can type the codes and then make some explanation again. Now in the Visual Studio we added some few things to make the login page to look exactly like this, and I'll be going through them one by one right now. So right in the Visual Studio Code, the first thing, we have the div container, and then if you notice, we denote each div class with a name. This name is very necessary for the styling, as we have a container. When we are styling it, we use the name we gave it, container. You find out this place, div class will have the container logo. When we are styling it, we make mention of it, we reference it here, container logo. Just same with every other thing, input and button type submit class btn, that's what we denoted it with. If you check in the styling, it's btn that we use to reference it. Now for the ones we didn't reference, like the form and the input, look at the way we call them here. We used container form, then form input, meaning that if you come to this container form right here, you'll find the form, and inside the form you'll find the input. That is the syntax we use in referencing tags or block of code when we are styling. So back to the code and every other thing we did here. First of all, this container is the entire body block that I placed in a container. Let me show you right here. This entire body block I placed in a container. That is what that first div container is for. So then the second container we find there, the second container right here, which is the container logo, is for this logo and this paragraph, like we see in the page, right here, this part of the code is the container logo. Now after the container logo, still inside the container, the main container, still inside this container, we find another container that is called form. We named it container form so that we can easily understand that this container is for the form and the inputs, which was for everything right here, everything right here, everything right inside of here. Then the next one, I'll just be explaining this very fast. I've already mentioned the uses of the tags, so check this video to find out more about it. So this is the styling. Like as I said, I've explained these tags and I've explained the styling, their uses right in this video. So just go ahead and check, and then you will understand it better in that video. Without wasting much time, I think this is the end of the code and is looking great. This is a button, please fill the form. Now you see, when we were now it says please fill the form. Why it is bringing up this message is because we placed a required tag, or you can say a required notation while you were calling the inputs. This is the reason why it's saying please fill in the form. So that is just that for now. So that is it for now. For more programming videos on HTML, CSS, Python, and Next.js, React, check this channel. If this video was very helpful to you, please click the subscribe button and hit the like button as we roll. Thank you very much.